Hi, I'm Megan Barefoot from No Shoes Nutrition. Welcome to No Shoes Real Talk, a space where we kick off our shoes, have real conversations, and talk practical wellness with people who truly care about helping you feel amazing. Okay, today I'm thrilled to welcome Chef Colleen, an accomplished culinary educator, superfood chef, and certified nutritionist whose passion for health-focused food began almost 3 decades ago. Colleen has spent years working alongside top wellness leaders, creating nutrient-dense, flavorful recipes that make healthy eating both approachable and delicious. Now, today we have her here as one of the creative forces behind the Diabetes-Free Cookbook and Exercise Guide. And this is a powerful resource that was designed to help people lower their blood sugar and support type 2 diabetes through what I love, practical, easy to make recipes that help simply shift the lifestyle in little ways, bit by bit. Now, Chef Colleen has taught classes, she's developed tonic bars around the world, inspired thousands to rethink their relationship with food. So I am absolutely honored that she's here today joining us to share her journey and the inspiration behind the cookbook and why nourishing meals can be both healing and joyful, which is very important because we get so much joy from food. So thank you, Chef Colleen, for being here today. I am just honored that we were able to connect and we were able to just get deep with food and kind of geek out together. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get involved with this particular book and project.
Well, first of all, thank you, Megan, for having me. It's really an honor for me to be here. I really appreciate it. And I loved our geeking out session. I felt like we're really connected in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I'd love to share a little about my journey. It started in 1996, and I was walking into a health food store, and someone was doing a demonstration on raw pizza. So I sat down and I was like, what's this? This was before anybody was doing any kind of raw food, anything. And they passed out samples, and oh my God, it was delicious. It was like lightning went off in my head. And all of us there were begging him to teach us how to do this. We have to learn how to do this. So we actually started a little community. I was living in Boulder, Colorado at the time, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So from there, I traveled all over the place, learning from other chefs of how to make healthy food delicious. And I ended up going to the Living Light Culinary Institute in Fort Bragg with Sherry Soria, who was a great mentor of mine for gourmet raw food and making, flavor balancing and all that kind of things. And towards the end of that period, I decided to enter the Los Angeles Raw Chocolate Contest, where there were 27 different chefs competing. Some of them were pretty well known, pretty ranked in the industry. And I was kind of a nobody at the time, so I was just, let me see what I can do. So I put my recipe for these raw chocolate uh, salt caramel pyramids in, and I won my category and I won best of show for the whole thing. So it was kind of an upset for some of these other chefs. So that kind of gave me some momentum. And from there, I started working with David Wolf and doing tonic bars, learning about herbs and superfoods and taking food to the next level. So basically, not just food that you eat, but food that replenishes you and gives you nutrition and helps you in different ways where your body might be needing support. And so a friend of mine sent me a link that her friend was looking for a chef. Dr. John he's a doctor who's focused on diabetes research for decades. And he'd written a few scientific books on his theories about diabetes, which are that it's a lot caused by grains and too much carbs in the diet. With all the hybridization and the way that our bodies weren't designed really to process as much carbs as we actually eat. So they wanted to make a book. People were asking, well, if we can't eat carbs and we can't eat flour and rice and corn and things like that, what do we eat? And he's like, well, just not that. And they're like, yeah, but what? Like, that's going to be terrible. So they wanted to come up with a book that's going to teach people how to make delicious food that avoids these kind of allergens and things that cause problems in people's diets And it was a whole process that I applied for. I had to submit sample recipes. We did some testing and interviews. And anyway, I got the job and it just was right up my alley. And we just had a great team from the start. It was kind of like a dream project that everybody just loved working on. I think that's reflected in the result.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um, I also, now we're gonna have to geek out about raw chocolate because here in Calgary, we're actually having a raw chocolate class next month.
Oh, fun.
So, yeah, and so now I'm gonna have to pick your brain about that
Oh,
because,
yeah.
well, now I know you've been in
I'll send you a
contests and you,
picture of my
yeah,
chocolate.
like now we have
Yeah,
to talk about that. So that's important too. Um, so again, just goes back to the fact that you don't have to cut out all the amazing
absolutely.
foods. You just need to tweak it and make it a little more the way
Healthy.
nature intended it to be going into our body, raw, not processed, not full of sugars and things like that.
100%. I really think that, in fact, we need to have those treats available, especially because when you get to a moment and you just need something and you're going to grab it or just go to a fast food place or something, if you have some things already there that you can take that are healthier, it's going to help you so
Amen.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. I am definitely, I'm a chocoholic and I tell people I eat chocolate for breakfast because it's healthy and it's full of iron and energy and lots of
Good start
bliss
for your day.
chemicals. Yeah.
Yep.
So when did you first realize that this book, this project that you were working on was going to be a really super powerful tool for people to manage their health? Like, at what point were you working on this and you were like, oh, wow.
Well, I always realized that it was right exactly for me. Like this was my job that I was like born to do this book. So and I just put good intentions into it and I didn't have any expectations. I just wanted to do the best I could do and deliver something that would offer people benefit and help them in their lives and help them be healthier. And so that was the intention that I started with. And then I started doing recipes. And when we went in for the photo shoot, we had kind of a fancy LA photographer do our photo shoot, and he had worked with some famous chefs before, like way famous. And at the end of the shoot, he kind of pulled me over and he said, "Colleen, your food is better than their food." So I was like, "Oh, okay." That was nice. That was a compliment. And then he even said one of the recipes from the book was his top three all-time favorites ever in the world, like from all over. So that was
Wow.
it was amazing. So that was I felt like that was a blessing. And then um, the fact that it's not just a recipe book, that it also has information about food, it has information about um, specific ingredients, it has exercises, it's got QR codes that lead you to videos that show you how to do things, it's got annotations, it's got all kinds of tips and tricks and different subsections. So it's like a multi-layered resource. And I think that was an important part of the formula of why we ended up getting 5 book awards. And so that just makes all of us are really just proud of the job that we did and everything was part of it.
So going back to all these amazing recipes, and how did you guys decide which ones would be part of this book and which ones wouldn't? And is there potentially a second book that could come out because of what was left out?
Yeah, well, I originally came up with over 100 recipes in all different categories. So we've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, soups, salads, desserts, breads, things like that. I tried to make a bunch in each category, so there was a lot to choose from. And then I submitted it to the team, and they kind of picked the ones that sounded good to them. And then I, of course, argued for some that I really loved and know that are great. And then when we actually got into the photo studio to do the shoot, that's when, based on space and what we had for room for in the book and how things turned out, we're like, well, this one would be better than that one. So we had to kind of cut down a few things to fit it in the book. But I think it turned out really well overall.
It looks amazing. I've tried two of the recipes thus far. I can't remember the names of them, but they were phenomenal. So I
Thank you.
highly, highly recommend it. And I work with clients that are working on their blood sugar all the time. So it's kind of nice for me to have this resource to be able to pass on to my clients that is research backed. It's backed by a member of the medical team so that they can feel confident with it, right? Because
Yes, definitely
there's
backed by
still
science.
some of the medical practitioners out there that are still not on board with taking out grains and things like that. So this is
Mhm.
something that I personally love because I find my clients will move so much further in their journey faster if they do that. So this resource is fantastic.
Thank you.
So I know, like I work with clients every single day trying to make this change of diet practical and approachable and maintainable and sustainable. Like how how do you make healthier cooking approachable for people who might feel overwhelmed with all the things that are getting thrown at them?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't recommend for anybody to just kind of drop what they're doing and switch 100% right away because that's not sustainable. You might have like a lot of passion at first and like, I'm going to do this, but it doesn't last. So I always recommend people pick one thing. Just start simple. Adding in is easier than taking away because people feel deprived when you take away. So, for example, there's recipes for different breads in the book, and bread is a big thing. So make some of the breads, try them instead of your regular wheat flour bread, and see how you do. And a lot of people find that it's an easy transition. And then over time, they'll add another thing in, and then slowly the old things kind of just fall away. It's not a painful separation, it's more of a gradual easy transition because, as you know, your gut microbiome will start to ask for different things. And once you start to nutrify your gut and clean out your gut, you're going to have different cravings than you did before. And I've actually gotten to the point where I crave salad. I mean, things like that. So it seems weird to people, but when
Uh,
you work on your system like that, just start slow, do one thing at a time, add it in. I also take Sunday typically as a food prep day. So I do a lot of preparation on Sunday, and then during the week, I don't have to spend a lot of time making food. It's just warming it up or assembling something in 10 minutes or less, and I'm done. So I know that people
uh,
are busy and don't have a lot of time for this. And if you can set aside a couple of hours one day a week, you can get some things really ready for the whole week.
yeah, I recommend all those same things. I call it crowding out.
Hmm.
Instead
Yeah,
of trying to think about all the things you're losing, start bringing new things in, and eventually those things that you're not wanting to focus on anymore just get crowded out, and
they
they
do. Yeah.
you just don't want them anymore. Yeah, I'm
And
a
it's also an act of self-love to like feed yourself
yes.
nutritive foods. So as you know, we hear a lot about self-love and taking care of yourself. How do you do that? Well, eating a candy bar isn't loving yourself. You think it's a treat, but it's hurting you really. So eating something made with dates perhaps as a sweetener is going to be healthier for you.
I totally agree, 100%. Um, so tell us how we can get our hands on this book and how we can get more information about working with you or Dr. John or how that all works.
Dr. John has a couple of books out, and they're all on Amazon, so it's easy. It's on Kindle or hard copy.
Hmm.
And my email address is Chef Colleen Hello. It's Colleen with two L's and two E's, and at gmail.com. So you can email me. Dr. John has several different ways to contact him. I don't know, maybe if you could list it from that paper I sent you.
I'll put
He's got a
all
lot of
the links
different,
in the yeah, notes.
he's got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all kinds of different ways you can see more about his work. And he definitely is very research oriented. He's very scientific. He's very eloquent. He can articulate his theory very clearly. And if you're interested in more the scientific side of it, you might want to look into some of his books and things. So, and he was a pleasure to work with too.
I met him. He was salt of the earth kind of guy, like just so humble, so beautiful in spirit and in kindness and his words, and absolutely brilliant to have a
He wants
conversation
to
with.
really help people. He's not in it for the money. He's not in it for fame. He's not in it for anything other than to share what he believes is the truth about people's health, and he wants people to get better. So that's
Absolutely.
also what drew me to him is that his philosophy is beautiful and he's a very kind and generous person.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree with that. So thank you, Chef Colleen, for being here today. I really love your energy. I love this book. I think it's going to change people's lives, and I can't wait to share it with my community. So, any last inspirational words you wanted to put in there?
I mean, it's really easier than you think. It might seem like a hurdle to start, but the journey starts with one step. And you've got to take that one step to move forward. And just you start building momentum and you start to see changes in your body and you start to have more energy and you start to sleep better. And that's what drives you on to keep making those changes. And it's really just kind of just having the courage to step out and do the first thing, do one thing good for yourself that is going to lead to more and more. And thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for being here. And this is another episode of our beautiful new podcast. And I hope you continue to join us at No Shoes Nutrition to learn more about how you can support your health every single week, every single day with just simple, small changes like we talked about today.
Thanks for hanging out with us on No Shoes Real Talk. Please give this episode a like, hit subscribe, and you'll get a heads up when we bring on more amazing guests. See you next time.